a pressurized train in a vacuum tube, so there's no air resistance, and that's what makes it go so fast.
Team UMD Loop is competing against 23 other teams from around the world to see who's got the fastest pod.
We are hoping to see speeds around 100 miles an hour. It's really dependent on SpaceX and the accelerator that they provide to us.
What's the reward for the winners? Santo says that's easy.
You say you won the first ever Hyperloop competition, and this is definitely feasible technology that you're going to tell your grandkids about, and so I think that's the prize, really.
They're testing all this week with the official competition starting on Friday. Kate Ryan, WTO.
There's still time to walk the beach.
All right, the problem with the Hyperloop, and I just got in my car, the problem with the Hyperloop is that, well, we heard it, it's vacuum chamber. And does one understand the strains of a vacuum chamber? Instead of having, well, pardon me, there are external forces applied against the vacuum chamber because there is 26.4, 26.6. There's atmospheric pressure going on the outside of the vacuum chamber. And a vacuum, the main reason why it holds its shape in our reality, bless me, pardon me, I think that's the first time I ever sneezed on YouTube. Anyways, the thing is that the vessel has to contain the negative pressure within inside of it. The tubular structure has to withstand the pressure of negative energy. Well, it has to deal with pressure on the outside equal to the atmospheric pressure of the universe, of the Earth at sea level, which is about 26 pounds per square inch. The Hyperloop also has to withstand negative pressures of, well, if it's a vacuum, that means that there is, if it's a perfect vacuum, that means that there is there is nothing inside the chamber. And we know that it's not a fact. So the fact is that the Hyperloop cannot work in a perfect vacuum because the perfect vacuum doesn't even exist in space. We live in a radiant universe. The thing is, as well, that if there's any problem with the tubular structure of the Hyperloop system, being that the atmospheric air can penetrate the vacuum, that's going to disrupt the entire system. Oh, check out Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot has done a tremendous job explaining the flaws within the Hyperloop system. And if there's, especially if, or look at a bank teller's vacuum. You know, when you go to the bank and there's that little contraption, it's double flanged. Because it's negative pressure that works on positive pressure. And if positive pressure enters the negative, well, then there's a catastrophe there. And basically, this is space technology. This it's not aerodynamic, aeronautical. It's space. It all has to do with space, and to replicate the atmosphere of space on Earth is essentially a catastrophe. And if we can't even maintain our infrastructures, which is essentially a 2D platform, because All right, I'm not saying we can't go up and down on, you know, on roads and stuff, but this is essentially 2D. You know, like in the Hyperloop, it's on a vacuum and stuff, and when we travel, we're riding on essentially nothing. And what I'm saying is that the infrastructure is far from superior enough. And that goes back to what I was saying about the wall with Trump, is that Trump wants to spend billions of dollars on a wall protecting America from Mexico. And we can't even maintain our own infrastructure of the roads, which they develop potholes, and then whenever there's and the Hyperloop has to be, the engineering has to be so specific. There is little room for intolerance with the Hyperloop. The infrastructure for it is astronomical, and essentially the price to disrupt aviation, it's not there. Aviation is still way cheaper because the infrastructure is the vehicle, whereas in the Hyperloop, the infrastructure is the vacuum chamber along with the vehicle, because essentially there has to be flanges, because and those things become expired over time, and if there's a rivet that's out of place, that's going to scar, just like a hovercraft. There's so many different possibilities for this Hyperloop thing. We do not have the technological practices to develop, pardon me, a proper vacuum chamber. And the fact that, okay, Elon Musk has done countless things for our environment, but it goes like meatloaf. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. The third one, the Hyperloop, is not going to happen. Essentially, the better way to actually have the Hyperloop happen is to fill it with water. If we can fill the Hyperloop with water, that's a whole different dynamic. The thing is that we're using low pressure, we can use convection in order to run the Hyperloop. It was with water. Hot water pushes, cold air pulls. Simple as that. The fact is that we're not at that point. And in a vacuum, in a true vacuum, the only way to operate anything within our 3D realm is through propulsion, rocketry propulsion of engines that supply their own energy, oxygen, their own burn. Electromagnetism for the Hyperloop, that does not work for the essential idea. Okay, to propel it, okay, that's fine. But, maybe to give it its initial, drive. But if it's going to be driven on electromagnetism, then essentially all it is a maglev. It's a subterranean maglev. And that it's more efficient than magnetic levitation. I don't know if that's a word. Basically, we have monorail systems that hover on electromagnetic fields. That's essentially how Hyperloop works. It's on electromagnetic fields. The reason why it makes it more efficient is because it's in the vacuum chamber. How much does it cost to supply that vacuum for maglev? And that's what I'm saying is that we're removing a step. We don't have maglev technology. We don't. Our rail system is less than mediocre, and with the vision that I have of the Hyperloop system, it's inefficient because it's working on a pure vacuum. And if there was a projectile that was working within magnetic fields instead of a vacuum, that makes a lot more sense to me. And I'm not saying that's going to be any cheaper. I'm saying it's going to be more expensive. But the vacuum chamber itself is not going to work. There's too many technologies involved, and we have not mastered any of them. Alright? Solar freaking roadways! How about you check that one out? As I said, Thunderfoot. He's one of the channels I subscribe to. You know what he does for a living? He's a nuclear physicist. Part of the reason why I have, pardon me, such a vast array of knowledge is that I don't fulfill my mind with smut every time I allocate my recreation to the internet. I listen to people. I listen. Don't buy into the Hyperloop. We have greater and more superior aeronautics. Just because Elon Musk got away with SpaceX and Tesla, pardon me, he can't get away with Hyperloop. I'm an old man, and when you see I'm under a little bit of stress right now, like I'm going off on a tangent. Give myself the hiccups. Just because Tesla and SpaceX has done all right, Hyperloop is not. It's not. There's too many technologies involved, and to create space in a tube, it's been done before, but not to the specification that Elon Musk is doing. And that's what I'm saying, America. I'm not against Elon Musk. I'm not against the Hyperloop. What I'm against is a waste of funds, and being that America is starving financially, this is going to seem like a prime opportunity, just like solar freaking roadways. Thunderfoot, he went there. Oh, check out his videos debunking the solar freaking roadways before he actually went and visited them. He did. He's a nuclear physicist. You see why a lot of people don't get me? Pay attention to very intelligent people. Do I listen to them all the time? No, because I have my own indiscretions. And the thing is that because they're more disciplined than I am, because they became professionals in certain aspects of their life, and, well, I'm a high school dropout, and that's the way I act. It's better to invest in Virgin Airlines rather than... it's better to invest in Virgin Airlines hypersonic aeronautical vehicles than it is to invest in the Hyperloop. Because See how easy it is for me to create a rail system? And that's the thing. A rail system. Check out the experiments that's been done by Hyperloop, and one will see that this is... And people buy it because it sounds like a great freaking idea. Oh, fuck it. You're just going to listen to me. No, I might find it. I did find it. I might be upside down. Millions of dollars. Government officials supporting solar freaking roadways. Great idea. But you know what? There's so many deficiencies within the grand scheme of things, because you know what? If I had a whole bunch of money, I could sell anybody the fucking idea of the world. Because it doesn't take much, but I have integrity. I'm not going to sell someone snake oil. And there's all this freaking snake oil going out there. Elon Musk, part of PayPal. What's the value in our currency? Cryptocurrency. Think about it. No, I'm not going against Elon Musk right now about PayPal or anything like that. I'm showing this is a lesson you can't learn in fucking school. How am I doing, right? How am I doing? Why, just because I was going uphill. Now I'm going downhill. No one's behind me. I'm just coasting. Will you all please freaking think about this? Don't invest. Use your freaking minds. Science. It's there. So many people are buying into a false freaking product all over. I've said this for years. We're sending ourselves down to the dark ages. Be safe, be kind, stay strong, and I think I know what I need to work on. You just saw me have an epiphany. Not an extravagant one. Oh, there's something going. Wait, is there? Of course there is. Peace.